Today we're talking about how to make a will.
Kids are in bed, so we are going to create our will. Yay! By the end of this video, in maybe, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes, you're gonna have your own will.
I mean, we're all probably a little bit thinking about dying anyway. So let's just get all the awkwardness out there just today. Let's just get it done, create the will, and be done with it.
We're gonna show you how to do it, how simple it'll be, and a couple of reasons why it's just really important.
Really important.
We've already done this before, but we're in a new phase of life. We're in a new state with a new kid.
Two new babies.
Without our pets. So we just have some adjustments we have to make to our will. So we're gonna go through this. And the reason we're doing this is because it's so simple. And you're gonna be able to do this for not very much money. It's really simple. And then you just take it and get signed and boom, you're done.
Yeah, we are well aware. This is not really a fun topic. You kind of have to deal with your own mortality and the mortality of your spouse, but it's worth it. And just give us a couple minutes and we're going to convince you.
So the first reason why you need to do this is because if you die without a will, in most states, you are going to make everyone else around you, their life really difficult and make it a big pain and take up a whole lot more time than if you would have just created a will. Just do it. Do your family a favor and just do the will. All right, so let me read this to you. I've clipped this from an article. What happens if you die without a will? If you die without a will, the probate process kicks in and the state will name a personal representative or a person who will distribute your assets. In most cases, a surviving spouse gets that difficult job. But naming a representative can get complicated when you add in ex-spouses, kids, parents, and even that oddball uncle who thinks you were best buds. Until the courts decide who will distribute your assets, they will be frozen. That means no one can touch your stuff, even if you said they could have it. And even after the court names a representative, family and friends might resent the person who was chosen.
That sounds like something I don't want to live through. Yeah, I had a friend that this actually happened to, where her husband passed and her children received the inheritance of the house. And so she was raising them basically in their house.
Was she a second wife?
No.
Really?
Her kids were receiving money from maybe his pension or something like that, and she was paying the bills with that money. But once they got a little bit older, they were like, hang on, that's our money. I mean, it was just like...
And this is the type of stuff that happens if you don't have a will. It
was messy.
Like I've seen and heard of so many examples like this where things just get really, really messy. And then the other things to consider are who gets the kids if you die. This is something you designate in the will. And your pets, you know, like if you love your pet and you don't want it to go to the wrong person, like you need to designate that. So these are all reasons why a will is so important.
Okay, so when we're talking about setting up your will, this can really bring up a lot of emotions and unpleasant thoughts. But that is not the purpose. What the purpose is setting up your loved ones for an easy transition. This is just general housekeeping. If I left the house with leaving no diapers for Bob with, little kids,
I'd be in trouble.
He'd be in trouble. He wouldn't know what to do. Or if I hid them, he would not know what to do. So just think about it that way. Like we're just leaving things very clean for our loved ones if they ever need it.
Yep. So now,
hold on.
Let's put on some lipstick.
Fluff the hair.
So now let's talk about how to actually do this. So you could go to just a law firm down the street. You call your buddy who's a lawyer or whatever, and you'll probably spend a few hundred to maybe many, many hundreds of dollars to do this. And I'm sure they'll do a good job, I hope. But like so many ways of doing this, there are actually some pretty good alternatives that are considerably cheaper online. And so there are a handful of online services where you can do this for a small fraction of what you can with just going to see a typical lawyer.
And you can do it right now. Even better.
Yes. Okay.
Oh.
For most of us, using one of these online services is more than adequate for our situation.
Unless we're in that movie, The Ultimate Gift. Lucky for me and lucky for you, Bob has done all the research and we just all get to benefit from it. So what did you find?
Looking at these legal services online, like Dave Ramsey has one. It costs about $129, which is pretty good. LegalZoom is a really big one you've probably heard of. They are about $89 to do a will with them. But the cheapest place that I found is called Rocket Lawyer, and that's what we've used the last 2 times we've done this, and what we are going to do again tonight in just a minute here. All right, so now you get to take a peek of us doing our will and filling it out with Rocket Lawyer. And just so you know, all of these online services are very similar to doing your taxes with H&R Block or something, where they just ask you a question and you just answer it. And then they turn it into all the legalese and make it look like a real official will.
Nice.
Okay, so if it wasn't obvious enough, I'm not a lawyer, but if you do have any questions about any of this, feel free to ask them down in the comments. We'll answer anything that we can about our experience using Rocket Lawyer and creating our will. All right, so I just finished. Here's the new will. It took me 22 minutes and a few seconds, and we had a couple difficult conversations because this is part of creating the will, answering questions like
who gets the kids if we die?
Who gets the kids? I remember we had to answer that with our pet. We don't have our dog anymore, so that's
a lot easier.
So that's easier. You just answer the questions, and if you get stuck on something, because there are some where it's like it requires a little brain energy to kind of think through, but if you get stuck on any, like Rocket Lawyer has lawyers, like real lawyers you can talk to ask questions. So we didn't do that, but you have that option available to you as well.
Can you save it in the middle of it if you're like, man, this is going to take me like a day or 2 to pray about it and try and figure this out?
Yeah, you can save it, and you can always come back to it. So I just really like it a lot, and hopefully you can go just as quick and have it done soon.
All right, awesome.
But now it's your turn, so take this opportunity and go get it done and just get this thing finished so you don't have to think about it anymore.
Yes.
Sound good? All right, do you want to end this video?
I want to end this video. Let's just end.